have again, given another chance. And won't you do better this time around? Okay. I tell you the relationship that I'd like to have again and do better with, and that's with a certain Colm O'Brien. With myself, if I could go back, we can't turn the clock back at all, right? If I could go back, I would tell Colm O'Brien to be braver earlier. That's what I do differently. To be braver earlier. I see kids these days, as we all did. I told you I didn't get dead out of shape from my leaving cert because I thought it was just practice, right? But there are kids, like, let's call a spade, John. There are children, unfortunately, who don't make it to leaving cert because the pressure gets too much, right? That's not good by any stretch of the imagination. So very little matters. There are very few things in life that happen to us in any given day that will matter 5 years from now. Very few. We lost our mother and my dad lost his wife in February of this year to cancer. Poor woman. She's a great, fantastic woman, taught us a lot. I told you some of her wisdom phrases that she had. And for me, I would like to think I would have been braver earlier. It took me to age 30 to realize I needed to grab hold of my life. And this is the lesson I took from that, John, is if we don't have a plan for our lives, a direction, well, then life will give us one. Without fail, okay? And I think many people wake up at some point and say, how did I get here? And they probably got there through indecision, inaction. So we need to set a direction. We need to decide, for me to feel fulfilled, for John Burns to feel fulfilled, I'd like my life to look like blah, whatever blah is for John, right? Or for Colm, or for any of your listeners. And then we need to take steps. We need to measure how far away we are from blah, right? No matter what age we are, okay? Because I can't go back to when I was 30 or 21 or 25, right? I can only start from here. But I'm happy to say that I've been evolving for many years now. I know where I am now. I know where I'm headed, where I'd like my life to, how I'd like my life to be in what I referred to earlier as Act 3. And therefore I take steps every day towards that. Another thing, I'm not fanatical about anything, John. I'm not one of these who says you need to be working 24/7 or else you're a loser. But that to me is the height of BS. Right? And we have to decide what way we'd like our lives to look at a point in the future. And then we've got to align our actions today to give ourselves the best opportunity of arriving there. And I've used the analogy before, I'll use it here if I may. Let's imagine, I'm 60 now, right? Let's imagine, Stephen Covey has a wonderful concept called the 80th birthday, where he gets you to imagine your 80th birthday and look backwards, and you've arrived at your 80th birthday with your life intact, right? The way you'd like it to be. So if we imagine we'd like life to be perfect by the age 80, perfect for me, perfect for you, whatever that might look like, perfect for our listener. Well then, let's imagine that destination is represented on the map of Ireland by arriving in Letterkenny, right? I'm not sure which way the map would show here, Letterkenny, right? But we got to realize where we're starting from. So I'm starting from the Midwest here, Killaloo, okay? And to get to Letterkenny by my 80th birthday, I got to head north. There's no point in me heading towards Cork or Wexford or Dublin, right? But many people, think about this, many people don't know they want to head to Letterkenny. They just know that life isn't working for them. They're not happy. So what do, John? They work harder, more hours, faster. right? And they end up driving around. You take the M50 in Dublin, right? Drive around that, back around it, and faster, and break the speed limits, and still get nowhere near Letterkenny. And that's what many, many, many people do. And I was one of those people till age 30 where I realized, you know what, I got to figure out what my Letterkenny looks like. But if you know that your destination is in the direction of Letterkenny, well, then you need to align all your decisions, financial decisions, your health decisions. I talk about health, wealth, relationships, and spirit. You need to align those 4 areas of your life, the 4 pillars for a fully formed life: health, wealth, relationship, and spirit, with you arriving at a point in the future where you're happy looking back and saying, you know what, John, you did well. You made it. Colm, you did well. You made it. Mary, you did well. You made it. For you. The only competition I have is me, and the only competition you have is you.
Yeah. That's an interesting outlook in life, Colm. And I would say I wish there was a chance myself in my own life when I wish I had been braver when I was younger, but I wasn't. So I have to live with the consequences of it now, of course. But I have found my purpose, and like yourself, I'm heading in the direction of Letterkenny, I should say. Yeah, this has been a great conversation today. So, Colm, I'd like to thank you for your time. And before we conclude here, I have some great takeaways to the audience. And the first takeaway I have for the audience today is try and recognize what your core strengths are in the business world. But more importantly, try to develop additional skill sets around your core strengths. And as Colm mentioned today, he had a great ability to get people working around him. But when he went into his own business, he had to develop more business skills. And he did that by reading and putting those skills into practice. Secondly, I think Colm made a great point here today. It's never too late to transition from one career, whether it's paid employment, into self-employment. The day you do it, it can become very rewarding, but you have to stay the course. And I think also Colm mentioned here today is have a purpose in life. Without that purpose, you're going to drift.